Raiders are still in the hunt, man, for that coach, and the list is getting shorter and shorter, bro. Minter's gone to the Ravens, so we got Mike McDaniels going to the Chargers.
The Chargers.
I want to talk about the O-line and the future of the O-line because that's definitely a topic, bro, recently with the number one pick and the possibility of getting Mendoza, which it looks like it, right? I mean, they were there at the championship. This guy's a champion now. You see how he plays. You see how he dives in there, sacrificing his body for his team,
taking hits.
That shows leadership to me, though. That overall, that shows leadership. That shows that this kid, man, is for real. But yeah, we're talking about that. We're talking about these coaches. And if the O-line can improve, let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about how this O-line has failed us this year. We talked about how the coach sucked, Brendan Carroll. Just being horrible. And let me know your thoughts, man.
Yeah,
the O-line.
Yeah, the O-line is going to be tough just because of the bad coaching, the nepotism. Like, they didn't really try, so it's hard to see what we got. But I know we saw towards the end, Cross and Grant were playing a lot better. So it's hard to say. I don't want to go and waste more draft picks or a free agent on something that we still don't know. I'm definitely I'm set with Glaze not playing right tackle. I'm definitely with is it Cross? The Cross is playing right tackle, right? Or is it Grant? I think it's Cross playing right tackle. And then I would have Grant and DJ Glaze play for the right guard or left guard, whatever's open.
Yeah.
JPJ back to center and free agent or the draft to get the left guard. So that's how I feel like we should go. Mm-hmm. If they want to keep JPJ at guard, there is Lindstrom, all-pro center that's out there.
Yeah.
So, if you want to do that, and then instead of, a free agent guard, we would put JPJ as guard, and then Glaze and Grant to figure out the right guard, and, give Cross the chance at right tackle. So that's how I think it should play out. And then honestly, it's coaching is super important when it comes to O-line. I mean, we've heard the rumors that the O-line went to Spy Tech, and they're like, we don't know what the hell we're doing. This guy just tells us to do drills and doesn't teach us, doesn't tell us anything. So we literally don't know what's going on. So, that by itself, you can tell how our O-line was. We would hike the ball and they were already there sacking Geno. Just if we have faith in Spy Tech, what he did in Tampa Bay, and what, people thought of him, we have to believe that these drafts that he's made were his guys, people who he thinks it can play.
Right.
So, we have to give them a chance. But at the same time, I do understand, we just can't go win with the exact same O-line. Because what if it was, part of it was the O-line. So I think we should spend on a guard, unless they want to take chances with Grant and Cross playing guards.
Yeah.
Then, you go out and you get a right tackle. But that's what I think it is. At the top of my head, I don't know any big name guards that are coming out. I know Lindstrom, he's a really good center. But he was a center for the Ravens when Harbaugh was there. So I don't know if he wants to go and follow Harbaugh with the New York Giants. Maybe he'll take a pay cut, but I don't think anybody's gonna outpay us when it comes to the O-line. So that's the route I think. And there's a couple O-line out there. Bill Callahan was picked up, so that was one of the best ones. There's a couple out there that we should hopefully, obviously we got to get the coach first before we start filling out his staff. So I'm hoping one of these teams that the coach that we're looking for loses this weekend, so we can get that news on Monday. Raiders hired new coach. Blah blah blah.
For the left tackle, I think you meant Forsyth, right?
Fuck Forsyth. Nah. Get rid of him. He's a Pete guy. Colton Miller's playing left tackle. Yeah. Stone Forsyth.
But look, I think DJ Glaze had a good first year. All right, I think So what happened there? And that's why I'm bringing this up, right? That's why I'm saying.
Yeah,
these guys if they had the right coach, we talked about how Brennan just screwed everything up just by I don't know what the hell the nepotism and just probably learning. Right. Nobody really knows where the hell he came out of other than from his dad.
Exactly.
And so if you keep, of course, JPJ, you put in there. What's his name?
Grant.
Our left tackle, man.
Colton Miller,
of course.
Yeah.
And then Parham, which had a pretty decent last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
If he's coached better, then possibility that you could have a decent O-line, or at least these guys can be rotation type guys that are resourceful and reasonable for the team, right? So, and then
exact
possibility. Too much either. For the free agency, you don't also want to spend too much because you got the defense to spend on, bro. You got,
exactly. No, that is right.
Stokes, bro. Yeah.
like at least show us what he had the first year. So that's why I'm a little skeptical about him. So and that's why also is like I want to give Cross the tackle position because that's what we drafted him for,
Caleb
being cut.
Rogers. That's who we're talking about.
Caleb Rogers, and Grant Cross,
Charles Grant.
Charles Grant, yeah. Charles Grant. So last year I thought we would have a good O line, but obviously, and I still do believe it's Brandon Carroll was the real true issue. So yeah, we get that fixed. If we go after a high end free agent, whether it's the center, as long as that means JPJ is playing guard, I can still imagine JPJ pulling and having him charge and be the lead for Genty. You got JPJ huffing and puffing down towards you. You better move or you get ran over. It's like he's a bull and all he sees is red.
We've seen him dive in there and just make spectacular blocks, I should say.
Yeah.
And then
it looked like he was tackling somebody, bro.
That's a heavy dude coming at you 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. That's why I was so pissed off with Pete Carroll. Like, bro, because I was like, man, if we keep Pete Carroll for one more year, they're probably gonna trade JPJ. And we're gonna get a bag of Skittles for him when I think he could be like top 3 center or even top 3 guard.
No,
it's all about coaching.
Exactly. And if we bring in a coach that knows what he's doing, is well respected in the league, and that people have talked about, Dwayne Ledford, that just got let go from Atlanta. Bill Callahan replaces him with Stefanski choosing
great
Callahan.
Coach.
Yep. And so now this guy's available, and he was himself a center in the league.
Yeah.
So we could probably give this guy a chance. Hopefully, all things considered, with the next coach coming in and whatnot. But what are your thoughts? I mean, you read a little bit about him earlier, and I mean, you looked at him. About what
I mean, definitely what they were saying is like he's highly wanted. Personality wise, he's amazing. Everything was great raves about him. So I was like, and it's just one of the premium coaches of his position is what they were saying. So, I mean, I'm excited, especially if he's a premier O-line coach, and that's something we need. I originally was thinking of Bill Callahan, but he went with Stefanski, and we didn't have a coach, so I'm sure he was like, I'm not trying to sit here and wait. Hopefully Ladford sits and waits, and he's waiting for somebody to, like the Raiders or Buffalo Bills, because I feel like he would love JPJ. I think at the moment he gets in camp and he sees who JPJ is, he's gonna be like, oh yeah, we running this damn ball down people's throats. And so, I think that would be the best one. There's a couple people I heard, somebody from Portland State, I think it was. They're saying that O-line coach has been known for making like All-Americans or like really well-coached O-linemen. Yeah. So that's another good guy that we can go after. I forgot his name, but he's like, I think it's Portland State or something like that. I definitely would like Ladford just because, O-line experience. The Falcons had a great run game. Like Bijan, it could be Bijan Robinson being that good, but, as far as we think Ashton Genty is that guy, he should get like similar, production out of him. Yeah. So that's what I would like to go for, because my original choice was Bill Callahan, because he's a former Raider coach, so we definitely know how he is. And that's when he had Weinstein. Those badass O linemen that we had, he was part of it. So I think Ledford would be great. I can't think of anyone else, but that's the other thing too, is like whoever our coach is, like if we do go with Clint, is he going to bring the guy that he was with in Seattle? Even though he's not the one that picks the coaches, he does work with them. He might like how
he knows underlings.
Yeah. So, that could be it. It also could be like their coach, Mike McDonald's, the coach for the Seahawks. It could be his guy that he picked as well. So, we don't know how that goes. But, I think we got 2 good choices at least.
Yeah. No, I mean, this guy, Ledford, Niner fans might know him. And he was drafted by the Niners in 2000. So... And then was with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It was center.
And the Carolina Panthers. And, so he's got some experience under him.
Dan Campbell
type.
Yeah. That dude's awesome. That's a badass coach.
Exactly.
Like that dude sits there and you can tell he cares about his players like every time. And you follow a coach like that. Those are like legit elite coaches. If he ever gets fired, he ain't gonna last long as a free agent. He get picked up immediately.
He also played for the team, so I think that also matters.
Definitely.
Some more.
And Latford was a center, so I don't know, if like baseball, it's like the catcher is always like the best ones to have the managing team because
right.
They ran the defense, they ran all the strategies, and all that shit. Like it went through them. So it's kind of like, if that's the center as their coach, the center is the one that calls the plays, finds the blitzing people, like that makes all the decisions. So, if he's there and he truly, truly helps JPJ be that elite center, or we pay for an elite center and just have him be an elite guard, then, I think we would be a pretty, pretty good spot.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Now back to the coach hunt. And these guys, bro.
Anxious.
I'm fucking sweating bullets over here seeing these guys go away, and not one of them getting picked. But of course, we still have 2 in the playoffs.
And I strongly believe those are the 2 that we really wanted from the beginning.
Yeah, Clay Kubiak and Mike LaFleur.
Yeah, Mike LaFleur. Yeah, I think those are like Clint Kubiak has the experience. He's doing it right now. Mike LaFleur is that young genius mind coming up, young genius offensive mind coming up. Mm-hmm. I mean, we saw what the Rams are doing. This has probably been Stafford's like best year, and it's been like the most complete team that they've had in a long time. And then the Seahawks, man, he's making Darnold. I know Darnold's made a lot of mistakes, and then he gets out of it. That's coaching. So, he doesn't like panic and be like, okay, we're just going to be super conservative. Nah, he's all like, Donald, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Get your shit together. Throw that touchdown pass. So that's what I do like. One of the negative that people always say about him is like he's not staying at certain spots. Like he did 1 year here, 1 year here, 1 year, 1 year, and now he's 1 year as an OC. So a lot of people's like stability is not there. But at the same time, it's like, so that tells me he's been with 5 different organizations, 5 different minds, 5 different personalities, 5 different situations. Nothing can get to him. He comes to the Raiders, he's set. He's like, okay, I got this. This ain't hard. So, and for him, might be motivated. He's like, oh, I know I'm going to be here for at least 2 years before, if I fuck up, they fire me. But
that is with you, bro. That's going to play a factor. The fact that, this guy's have fired already 6, 7 coaches, bro.
Yeah, 6, 7 years,
bro. So why how do we convince these coaches that this will be a longevity type deal?
Yeah,
that they can be reassured that they have some time to work with these players.
Right. I mean, that's truly going to come down to Spytek and Brady. Like they're really going to be like, look, we're trying to do this, because one of the things about Carroll is like, I think we were like 2 different timelines. Like we were excited to be like, oh yeah, Carroll's going to take us to the playoffs. But now that we see the whole team is like, we weren't a playoff team. So, that part, I think they're coming to it more realistic, and they're like, hey, young guy, we got to give him the opportunity. Because, I mean, look at they're clearly not going after a Pete Carroll type anymore. They're not going after Mike Tomlin. They weren't interested in Harbaugh. They weren't interested in Mike McCarthy, who was an offensive mind coach. They weren't interested in Mike McDaniels. We interviewed, but it wasn't for a head coach. So it's hard to get an OC without the head coach. I think they're like, they know what they want, and they're going to give it the opportunity. And then what chooses us is, I mean, we're a franchise. Like, we're one of the top 5 biggest franchises in NFL history. Yes. We have probably the greatest stadium.
We're losing the grip on that.
We're losing it, but we can get it right back. We got the second most cap, only behind the Titans. And the Titans, nobody wants to play for the Titans. I was like, either Tennessee, Vegas. Going to Vegas. Tom Brady really matters. The second most cap space, and a GM that people wanted to work with that doesn't get involved, lets you coach your coaching style. Yeah. And then like all the draft picks, and then we get to pick the quarterback. I think that's like the most important thing for people. Like if he does pick Buffalo, they just fired their coach after they made it to the second round of the playoffs. Like it's literally, Super Bowl or bust. Like, do you want to be in that position? Like, the first year you have to do Super Bowl or bust, and then next year they're already thinking about firing you. Yeah. You come into the Raiders, you're building, you're getting a rookie quarterback, you're getting a lot of cap space, you got a lot of draft picks. Yeah. This is where you can really put your stamp on the team right now. So that's why I think Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, But you got the bad weather. You got the New England Patriots in that division. Yeah, I mean, we got the Chiefs, but New England Patriots got the young quarterback. Patrick Mahomes still has at least probably 10 more years, but we can injure him, we'll be fine. But other than that, I feel like that's why we're the premier position. In Buffalo, I think they're under the cap at like 13 minus 13 mil. So they still can't like really bring in people. They're probably going to have to make cuts just to get where they need to be. And then there's already a bunch of players on that team that's from the previous coach. A new coach wants to bring in guys that they know the lingo of their offense and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure if we do get Clint Kubiak, he's probably going to bring some players from the Seahawks that are not going to be they're going to be free agents. So and that's what most teams do. So at least he knows, like, okay, with the Raiders, I can do that. I could bring in like even regular guys, like not high end guys, just regular guys that can like guide everybody else to do what they do. Right. And I have that cap space to do it. With Buffalo, it probably won't be till year 2 where you could start getting the players you want and all that, besides the drafts. Yeah. So, and I think we got like 8 or 9 draft picks. So, it's like, like the carousel of coaches is never good. But at the same time, when did we ever have a quarterback? True, when did we ever have like, it was a rookie quarterback?
I'm glad you brought out the Bills, because what do you think about, nobody's talking about Sean McDermott going anywhere, really. I would have thought the Ravens would have hopped on that. I would have thought the Steelers would have hopped on that, which I haven't heard them say much, right? Or did they hire a coach already? Unless I missed out or something. I don't think so, right? No, they've been silent.
I thought they did. I can't remember. But I mean, Jesse Minters apparently like killed it in interviews, and I think he was like our second choice if Clint Kubiak didn't go through with it. But the Seahawks ended up beating the Niners, so he ended up staying longer. And then Jesse Minters just was like, I can't wait too long. I have a quarterback in Baltimore. I have a traditional like defense there.
But I mean, Sean McDermott is still.
I mean, it's not too late. Like, who knows? Like, maybe he's like part of the second or third choice, because he did say he wanted to continue coaching, but he is a defensive-minded coach, so that's the tough part. If Pittsburgh didn't get a coach, that would be a great one. I don't see Kubiak going to Pittsburgh because they won't have a quarterback, and I don't think he wants to coach Aaron Rodgers if he does come back, because it's going to be back to purgatory. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I just feel like we have the advantage because he can build his team. It's like Josh Allen is a great quarterback, but the pressure of that atmosphere might push people away.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And hopefully, man, we land Clint. I prefer Clint.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I prefer Clint too, just because everything we've seen him do. We both think that Sam Darnold sucks, and look what he's doing with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Because remember, last season, he was with the Vikings, with Kevin O'Connell, another quarterback whisperer.
Yeah.
And he got 14 out of him, but he was trash in the playoffs. What happened
this year with their boy, J.J. McCarthy?
They sucked. They're thinking about bringing back Kirk Cousins next season.
No way!
That's how bad it is. Yeah.
Damn, that sucks for the Vikings, though.
They should have definitely went after Aaron Rodgers. And I think he would have been better there than the Steelers. Then the Steelers, at the same time, if the Steelers don't have a coach, the fact that they don't fire and they give you patience is probably like a great thing. But at the same time, it's like they gave them patience because they won early. Like, they were winning early. Like, Tomlinson had a Super Bowl in his second or third year. Yeah. So it's like, when you win one, you get that patience from that. Yeah. So, like, what if he's struggling? What if he struggles the second year? Steelers are good enough to like miss out on one of the top quarterbacks.
No, that's just part of the plan.
But then why do that when you can do it with the Raiders? Yeah, but why do that when you could do it with the Raiders? You have the number one pick.
Yeah, you don't have to lose.
Yeah, you already can pick the quarterback that you want. Yeah. And if you don't want that quarterback, I feel like you could just build around it and then wait next year for the quarterback. But if you want to go that route, and then at least that's a sign right there, like, we're giving you time to build, and then we'll be a better team. And that's not, and Mendoza's not the type of quarterback you want next year. We'll just have to trade up and get some quarterback.
Right.
So there's always that option, but You got the cap. You got the number 1 pick. You could have your choice of quarterback. Like, why not? You know, why pick the Steelers over that? You know what I'm saying? And what was the Steelers' issues? They could never get a quarterback after Roethlisberger. So you're going to be, you know, back into that situation. You know, what if you make the playoffs and you lose your first round? That's why they fired Tomlinson, because it's been 7 years in a row losing.
Oh, he stepped down.
Well, yeah, he stepped down. But like the Raiders, if you make it to the playoffs, bro, like, oh, shit.
You're God. You're the savior.
Exactly.
You're Jesus.
And if we can make it like 3 playoffs in a row, losing in the first round, we'll still be like, hey, we made the playoffs.
Boy, that would be the day. Hope I don't die.
Like it was 2003. No. We did go with Carr once.
2021, dude. 2021 was the last time we played against the Bengals.
But we made it with Carr. The year that Carr broke his leg.
Yeah,
and then the first year with Gruden.
The year he had Bisaccia.
Yeah, Bisaccia take us to the playoffs.
We went also in 2015.
Oh, with Del Rio.
But that was also the year that Carr broke his leg. So
yeah. So we can make it.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Feel like
it's been
winning.
a while. Yeah, so, it's been a long time.
It's at least more than at least up to 10 wins.
Yeah, it's hard to say with a rookie quarterback, but yeah, if we get to like even 6 wins, 7 wins, I think everybody's like,
that's not smart if they play the rookie quarterback. You got to play Gino if he's still around.
Yeah,
and let the kid, maybe 5-6 games in, then you start easing in Mendoza, right?
Exactly. I mean, it obviously depends on the schedule, how it comes out as well,
and the record, obviously.
Yeah.
They're winning.
So if you got tough defenses in the beginning, let Gino handle it. Yeah. And who knows about Gino too? Like we honestly believed our issue was the O-line coaching. What if Gino does have the time? What if he's just there? He starts slinging it.
That's what I mean.
So and he takes us to the playoffs like he was supposed to in the first year. Yeah, but we got a guy.
He has done it.
He's definitely done it.
2 years, 3 years later, come on and make some more money somewhere else. And then we got Mendoza, bro. We got Mendoza.
Yeah. And that probably means we'll be trading Aiden O'Connell or stashing him in the practice squad.
Yeah, somebody pick him up off waivers. I don't see him being.
Yeah, somebody will definitely pick him up. Experienced backups are needed, and he's not getting paid that much either.
But let's hope for Clint Kubiak. And like and subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments. Yep. Rate us.
Everybody stay dry.